We're here at Kogi. How do you pronounce it? Okay, so
Kogi taqueria.
Taqueria. Okay, so I've seen a surfer dude. I think it was here even, and he called it a taqueria, and I was like, what is
It
that?
could be taqueria.
Yeah,
I think there's a place called
taqueria.
taqueria.
Okay,
But this is taqueria. This is designed after a lot of the taquerias I grew up going to.
Right.
You know, just like real small spots. You know, we usually have music bumping and, you know, just come in and eat a plate of tacos. So that's what we're about.
So what's the difference between here and the truck? Because, you know, you're carrying the name, right? So this has to have some kind of a, I mean, there must be something to it that you're trying to mimic or at least kind of capture the spirit of, right?
Yeah, and you've been around the truck since its beginning, Eric. Like, we're very deliberate in who we are as Kogi. Like, we're wild beasts, but we're also very protective of who we are and our culture. Because just like Giant Robot, like, we represent something, you know what I mean? And so we didn't expand like crazy anything. So anything we do build has to have the flavor and the style of Kogi. So I guess those things are like being a little imperfect, being kind of like DIY, you know, ground up, you know, like plaster with stickers, you know, not really being like being somewhere that's loose and kind of feels like the street and honors the street, you know. So you got this big mural right here that is one of our actual trucks. And another thing is like everything just being kind of real, you know. These are shop lights from a garage, you know. Our whole team, speaking about real, is the team. They're the regional Kogi team. So this was a big promotion for them. Like, the original Kogi team was the first team that moved up into the taqueria. So it's just all those lineages, you know. It's like martial arts, you know. It's just like the lineages of passing down, and that's really what makes it real.
If you're trying to make something that's like a traditional taqueria, are you including things that are from an original taqueria? Because I think I tried something and I'm like, I don't think that's on your truck.
Yeah,
is there something?
That's what makes this taqueria different, exactly. I mean, you're so perceptive. Is the carne asada, carnitas, pollo asada, and cebollita y aguacate. Those are an homage to the taquerias that I grew up eating at. And then you have the Kogi on the other side too. So you have the ability to mix and match, you know, and have the Kogi experience. And what we wanted to do with this place is make it so LA and so built around like lonchera and taquero culture that when you walk in, you wouldn't even know if it was Korean or Mexican or whatever. You would just think it was a taqueria. And that's really what this place is about. So the stuff that you eat on that side, the carnitas, the carne asada, I hope that when you eat it, it would be as good as any carne asada or carnitas you get anywhere throughout the city. And you know, I guess for me the biggest compliment would be like if someone walked in here, ate a plate of carnitas tacos, walked out, knew nothing about the Kogi story, walked out and be like, damn, that was some good carnitas, dude. You know, that's it. That's all I want.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you know, because there's a lot. This boulevard right here, Overland and Palms, you know, there's a lot of action in this area of West LA. And we got 2 schools right in this area, and we got a lot of kids that come in after school, and
tons of apartments.
Yeah, tons of apartments, a lot of college kids, a lot of work, you know, people working. And I just want to be a spot where they can come and eat. And we got a lot of history in this area too, because we have Chego.
Yeah,
right up,
that's right. Chego is right there. This used to be a hood though, like a while ago.
Back in the day,
yeah. This was a hood.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the
especially these apartments back here.
Right,
this whole area back here off of Motor and National.
Isn't this the park that allegedly Snoop Dogg was involved in shooting?
Yeah, there's this park right over here.
Woodbine Park.
Yep.
That's the Snoop Dogg Park. Yep. That's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, there's a whole West Side. When people, you know, speak of the West Side back in the day, this is like all this right here.
Yeah, no, I remember this was like, don't go, be careful of Palms, right? Palms is like dangerous, so you're like right here.
You could go anywhere.
No, but back in the day, I'm talking about back in the day, it was like kind of be careful. I look at your social media, you end up eating out a lot, it looks like, from what I see, but do you, like, where do you go? Like in the last month, what kind of places have you been going to?
I'm actually a creature of habit. I go out and eat at like I work about 6 days a week, and so I'm usually eating at my own spots or checking. If I do go out, I go to Korean food and Moza and John and Vinny's. That's like where I go.
Moza?
Yeah.
Wow.
Moza is like, I'm a creature of habit. Like Moza is my spot. John and Vinny's, anything that John and Vinny do.
What's John and Vinny? I don't even know.
John and Vinny, they run Animal and Son of a Gun and all that, and they got a spot called John and Vinny's.
Which Korean place do you go to? Because there's like there's too many choices.
Hanbat Solomtang is the business. You know, that's the kind of like murky beef stew.
I like that.
You eat with
you had salt?
Gaktugi, salt, and green onions and pepper. Yeah.
I like that.
You know, it comes real basic. Like people that don't know Solentang, they come and they eat it, and there's no seasoning in it, and they're like, "Dude, what the hell?" So you gotta season that stuff. I like chosun kalbi. You know,
that one's kind of clean.
People try to hate on it because it's clean. You know, like, but I really think their food is fantastic. Their service is incredible. I've been going there for over. I've been going there when they used to be in the other location. You know, and they used to be on Western and like 10th, and I just really like their food.
What do you get there?
I get they have a braised seafood dish, braised cod called undego jorim. It's like a spicy braised cod. It's delicious.
Hemo jungle.
Hemo jungle.
That
their
thing's
barbecue.
good there.
That Hemo jungle is good. If you want jungle, you got to go to Hanilguan, which is on 6th and like right across from Chapman Plaza. It's in the corner. They have the best like stew, like the hot pot stews.
I love that.
Hanilguan. I go everywhere, man. But you know, the thing about Korean food that people got to understand is that a lot of Korean food is based around each place does kind of a specialty.
Yeah.
So like when people say, "Oh, what's your favorite Korean restaurant?" It's a very hard thing to answer because it's not a general answer.
Sure.
You know, like here, us as Americans, sometimes like we want to always generalize things, especially when it comes to Asians, and you know that dealing with it your whole life. Like they want to generalize something to say, okay, what's your favorite Japanese food? But you'd be like, there are fucking so many different regions, you know. Like, what do you mean favorite? You know, like so. It's the same thing with Korean. Like when you say that, you have to just. That's why I always say, what do you mean? Like you have to define. Like, are you talking barbecue? Are you talking hot rice? Are you talking soups? Are you talking noodles? You know, it all depends. You know,
it's still underexplored in my opinion. Korean food is still like underexplored by the masses, right?
They're still getting to like just the first crust and the first layer of things, you know.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of spots in Koreatown that you don't see people exploring into yet. And I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. It doesn't really matter. But there's still enough of Koreatown to where it's like it's still for Koreans, you know, Koreans and Latinos, you know.
Are there any upstarts in LA that you've kind of checked out in the last month, maybe, or a couple months, maybe? You know, like anything new that you're like, damn, this is like cool, good, or anything like that?
I haven't been to anything really new lately that's blown my mind. I know the homie up at Salazar is getting a lot of love. You know, I ate at his Mexicali tacos for a long time, you know, and
what's that? What is Salazar?
Salazar is out in like Frogtown near like Fletcher area. It's like an outdoor, indoor, Sonoran Mexican restaurant, you know. And he started with Mexicali Tacos, which is in downtown. So I would say that. I go to Smorgasburg. You know, I got to give a shout out to Smorgasburg. I mean, they've been really good to local, you know, my spot in Watts. And they've been really good to us to allow us to go serve there and give us a platform to really reach a lot of people. And then that on every Sunday, which happens from like 10 to 4 p.m. every Sunday, where the old American Apparel is, the warehouse. Like that thing exposes me to a lot of what a lot of the young cats are doing right now, you know.
You rep LA a lot. I don't even know if you do that on purpose, but it seems like you always rep LA somehow.
Yeah.
Is that a conscious thing, or is that just because it's just how you are? Because, you know, sometimes the LA Dodgers hat, and I'm like, that's so old school. That's so like Latino. Yeah. I see a lot more Latinos wearing LA Dodgers hats. Isn't that like?
I think it's something. I think it's something that I always. It was like my own. It was like my own private kind of comic book manga in a way. You know, like it was something where, you know, I was a very quiet kid growing up, and I moved around a lot, and I always had to kind of like figure out my way. So I was a latchkey kid when I was little, all the way through elementary. My parents, you know, worked 2-3 jobs. I was always on my own, so I always figured things out. In high school, we moved to Orange County, and they kind of hit it rich, and I was like kind of like in shock of the change. So I kind of like snuck out of the house a lot and went back to what I knew, you know. And I mixed it with Orange County life as well, but I got into low riding and I hung out in Whittier, and so I always like been involved in street culture and life, but I was never really the dude to like just be wilding out on the street and just be the one that, you know, like I wasn't getting all the girls, I wasn't like beating up all the dudes, I wasn't that dude, you know. Like I was quietly like just enjoying life, you know, in my head, and just being out there. And I don't know, man. I was like an alley cat or a squirrel, you know. Like I was always there, but it's like I wasn't really like, it wasn't something that I consciously represented. It's just I've always been absorbed and around it, and it's part of my DNA. And I guess when Kogi happened, it was finally my chance to grab the mic. I guess, you know, it was my chance to spray a mural, you know. And then what I ended up doing with my team is expressing it through food and through parking lots, and you know, and breaking a little few rules here and there, and just being ourselves. And I think it was a buildup of life. I guess that's my answer to you. Is, do I rep it consciously? No, but I do it because it's my whole life that has finally had a moment to express itself. You know, when I see anyone try to like hate on LA or come here and try to flex, you know, I'll always stand up for LA. And the inverse of that is whenever I express myself, I always try to express myself thinking about everyone in LA. Like if I'm outside of the country or if I'm outside of LA. So I guess those are the points where it becomes conscious. The other times it's just, you know, osmosis.